All right, you ready then?
I'm ready.
Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a Chosen's Corner episode featuring LeilaFoxNation, a content creator in the Raid community. And these type of videos are typically more casual podcast-style discussions, an opportunity to get to know someone kind of behind the curtain and just have a casual hangout with someone. So let's get into it. Alrighty, and now I'm joined by LeilaFoxNation. What's up? How you doing?
Hey there, welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to be hanging out with you today.
Awesome, awesome. And so, do you go by what do you prefer to go by? Leila Fox. What's the preferred gamer tag?
Usually people call me Layla, they call me Lele, but I've been called all kinds of variations. I've heard Leila, I've heard Lila, I've heard Delilah, I've heard Lisa, I don't know. I've heard like any variations or anything that rhymes with it. So as long as you're close, usually I'll answer to
it. Cool. Well, just to get us kick started here, let us know a little bit about you, kind of where you're from and how you got into Raid and get all kind of like the basic stuff.
Oh, sure, no problem. I usually like to joke around and say that I was that very, very rare 1% of streamers that was sponsored to play Raid, and I actually stayed. So what happened was I've been a streamer on Twitch for 3 years, and way back, probably in January, a friend of mine was actually sponsored to play Raid, so I tried it at that time. And even though I liked it, I was playing other games competitively. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, it was fun, but I kind of can't really play it right now. Then in May, I was approached for a sponsorship for Raid, and I was like, well, this is great because I already played it. I know I like it. I may as well. And so I was sponsored for 1 week to play it. I loved it. The community was amazing. They asked me to stay. And I told them I would give them a month, see how it goes. Loved it, and I've been here ever since.
Oh, cool. So you were playing other games competitively. What games were those?
Sure, I used to play Hearthstone, so I played a lot of ranked. I also played Arena on that. I played Battlegrounds. I also played Minion Masters, which was a combination of kind of like Clash and Hearthstone. It was a much more like fast-paced game. So I was playing those kinds of games before I was sponsored for Raid.
Oh, okay, cool. And do you still do that stuff, or did you kind of go like full-time Raid?
At this point, I'm pretty much full-time Raid because I've just been enjoying the game so much. And honestly, like I have 2 accounts. I have a main and an alt, so it really keeps me busy where I don't even really get to play the other ones anymore. And I'm okay with that because I've been having so much fun with this one.
How'd the sponsorship go? They just like emailed you and said, "Hey, you willing to?" Or how did that go? Because I just kind of like came to Raid naturally, so I never got like contacted really.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. I mean, this isn't the first game I've been sponsored with. I've had other sponsorships before, but usually what happens is you get approached with an email, and sometimes they won't exactly tell you right away what the game is, but they'll ask if you're interested. They kind of give you an idea of what the game is. So when I was approached, they said like a role-playing, mobile, coming to PC. So at that time, I was like, well, it sounds like Raid, but I'm not really sure. And then when I responded back, then that's when I found that it was Raid.
Cool. Okay. Gotcha. And I see your fancy PC there. Did you build that yourself?
I actually did not. So the story behind this is the people that in my channel know that for a while I was having all kinds of internet issues. My streams would lag, they would crash, disconnect, and my PC was probably over 10 years old. So this was actually made by my husband, is that he made this whole thing together. And you'll even see that I have a pretty cool like little Funko Pop in here. This is my little Captain America down there that I love. So this has been great, and I love it so much. And thankfully, it's been working out so much better than my old PC was.
Yeah, I just got a new PC as well. I had one that was about 3 years old. I was getting some like lag issues if I was streaming with all the bells and whistles, so I kind of upgraded as well. So, do you do full time stream and like content, or do you like work as well?
Oh, that's such a good question. And I love sharing this story because, like I said, I've been a streamer on Twitch for 3 years. So when I first came to Twitch, I came because of a YouTuber who encouraged me to start streaming. And when I did, I immediately knew that I loved it. And I immediately knew that I wanted to make content creation my full-time job. So while that sounds crazy, I was like, okay, if this is what I want to do, I need to set up specific goals, and I need to spit up like what needs to be done to get me to this position. And with that in mind, for 2.5 years, I streamed 4 times a week while working a full-time and a part-time job. so that I could get to the position of doing this full time. And then this past June, I was actually able to finally do that. So it literally took me 2.5 years of all that work to get to the point where I could do content creation full time. And that's what I'm still doing, is I do full time Twitch and YouTube.
Okay, what were you doing for like a job before?
Oh goodness, I've done all kinds of different things. Like I've done retail, and where I recently came from was more like administrative work. So this has just been what I love to do. I'm very outgoing. I'm a people person. I love to just entertain. And so this is like the perfect job for me. And this is where I feel like I shine the most, where I haven't necessarily been able to do some of the stuff in other careers that you've kind of had to do as your 9 to 5. So this has just been such a blessing. And I honestly feel so thankful every morning I get to wake up and I get to do this as a full-time job.
Yeah, no, and I saw your YouTube is mostly revolving around like some of the lore and story stuff, right? Where do you get that info from? I guess I just play. I don't ever look into, do you like write that, or do you get that from somewhere, or?
No, I don't write it. And I feel so honored that people ask me if I write those stories, because I mean, on stream, a lot of times I make up stories like on the fly in my head, kind of like, we talk about like whose line is it anyways, kind of like improv. I do things like that all the time just to be silly. And I think it's funny that people think I actually make these stories, but I don't. All these stories come from Raid. And if you look deep enough, Raid has these stories like on their social media. They have them on their forums. And even when we reach out to our Raid connections, they have these stories for us. And so that's what I do, is I put together a content calendar of the stories I want to share kind of based on the seasons. Like I have a video I released today that's for Sir Nicholas, because we're in the Christmas holiday season. So that's the perfect story. So that's the one I have for today. And that's what I do, is I share them, because you're right. Like they're not out there. It's not something that people immediately know where to find them. The only stuff you can find in the game is the actual faction lore. But if you're looking for stories on champs, that's a lot deeper. Like that's a bit harder to find.
Yeah, it is kind of weird that they don't have a little section next to like skills, masteries. They don't have like a little lore section where it puts that. I mean, if they're going to take the time to write it, you would think they would. I mean, it's just text. They could copy and paste it in game. It's kind of interesting that they don't kind of put that in game.
I thought so too, but then I think about most other games, and I don't think they do that either, right? Like I come from World of Warcraft. That's probably like the game I've played the most in my life is World of Warcraft. And I love that lore story too. But same thing, like a lot of that isn't in the game. You can usually find that elsewhere. Like you could find that on YouTube. You could find that on a bunch of websites. So in reality, I guess maybe that's something they figure isn't as popular, people would look forward to or try to seek out more than some of the other information.
I'm always trying a bunch of different games, because as you know, in content creation, you got to kind of keep your ear to the ground and what's going on in the scene.
Yep.
So I'm always trying out different games, even if I don't ever do a video on them. I'm just trying to keep an eye on the market. And I was trying a game like 2 days ago, and they were charging gems to unlock the lore. Like,
really? What game? Can I even ask what game that is? Because I'm shocked. I've never heard that.
I don't want to call them out, but
okay.
but I just remember laughing. I was like, I don't want to give Plarium ideas here, but
no, that's something I would hate. Like immediately, I'd be like, okay, I'm out. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's like 10 gems to unlock the lore story of this champion. I thought that was hilarious.
That is so bizarre.
Gasha Gaming is taking it up a notch here.
Yeah, that's weird. Like I said, I've never heard that before.
I hadn't either. So that was gonna be my next question, was what game? So have you always been a gamer?
Oh my God, yeah. I've always been a gamer my whole life. We talk about this all the time. And like my earliest memories are of games. And if I talk about the games from my childhood, it's definitely like World of Warcraft. I've probably played that the vast majority of my life, probably more years than I'd care to admit. And Final Fantasy VII was a big one for me too when I was a kid. But I've absolutely been a gamer my whole life. I really can't think of a period of time in my life where I hadn't been playing games in some form.
Is your husband a gamer too, or do you get a lot of like pushback on wasting time on gaming and stuff?
Oh, definitely not. We're both gamers for sure. And some of our earliest dates, because I'm not a materialistic person, is I'm the kind of person I prefer quality time. So I'm the kind of person that I would be cool just hanging out watching a show, and that's a good date night for me. So some of our earliest dates is like I would pick up a grinder and I would go home and we would raid on World of Warcraft for like 8 hours. Like that was like our date nights.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So yeah, it's great the fact that we're both gamers and that we can relate to that way, and we both enjoy the games together.
Yeah. So, but your husband doesn't do content or anything?
Nope, he just plays games on the side. He enjoys just chilling, hanging out, playing games, and he helps me a lot on the back end as far as Twitch goes.
Oh, okay. Like tech stuff or getting stuff set up or.
Yeah, like a lot of like the moderation, all of the other stuff that needs to be done. For 1.5 years, he actually was on stream with me. So my viewers that have been with me since I first started, and they remember my Hearthstone days, he streamed on camera with me for 1.5 years. And then it got to the point where he kind of started to step back because in reality, as you know, content creation and being on Twitch and being on the camera it can be exhausting. It really can be. It can be a lot of pressure. It can be tiring. And so he started to kind of step back, and then it kind of naturally fell that way. That because I'm much more introverted, and how my personality is being on the camera. I was fine with that. And he just kind of felt more comfortable being on the back end, doing the moderation and the other things that had to happen. And he managed and helped my YouTube out in the beginning as well, when I was just even trying to get this going. Because again, I was, streaming and then working the 2 jobs that I did. I needed help. I couldn't do everything myself. So that's just kind of where this has been. And it's been very, very good for us. It worked out very well this way.
Yeah, it is like when you feel like you kind of worked a shift, like when you get done streaming for 5 hours, because I mean, you can't just sit there and be boring, So
Nope, not at all. You have to be on 24/7, because you know how it is. Like, actually, I don't know how it is for you guys, but for girls, like if the energy goes down a little bit, I get, Leila, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Leila, are you sick?
Yeah.
Leila, are you feeling okay? And I'm like, I'm fine, guys. I've been talking for 5 hours. I'm good.
Yeah, no, it's not like a complaint. It's just kind of it is what it is. It's kind
Oh,
of
exactly. Yep.
you can't be on camera and just sit here and be blah. You got to interact with people and bring energy. So what I always do when I get done streaming is I like go do something to kind of unwind, like go to the gym
Yep.
or go outside and go for a walk, or like because you just got done sitting down for 4 hours and being on camera. It's good to just kind of unplug. Do you do something similar, like when you're done?
Oh,
Just
yeah, definitely. And because I'm talking all the time, a lot of times what ends up happening is afterwards, I'm kind of quiet. And what's funny is I get people ask me all the time, they're like, are you the same way in real life as you are on Twitch? And I actually am. Like, I'm silly, I'm talkative, I'm outgoing. But after streaming for 6 hours, I'm kind of like quiet.
Mhm.
So then, I want to go take a shower. I might want to put on a show. I might just want to sit and edit a video. A lot of times I'll lurk in a Twitch channel, and I might not always talk because I've been talking for such a long period of time that you kind of need to decompress, and you almost kind of need to just relax and wind down and chill afterwards, just to kind of reset yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. I feel exactly the same.
Yeah.
Do you ever have days where like you just aren't feeling it and you got to kind of force yourself to do content, or is it just kind of easy?
I think the human nature part of us is we do get tired, right? Like, we're going to. It's just how it is. And so on the days I've had like that, like if I'm under the weather and things like that, is I will still do it because I love my job. And like I said, I'm thankful, I'm blessed, I'm so grateful that I get to do this every day. But if I'm not feeling too great, then I just up a little bit earlier. And usually, people are understanding, which is really, really good, is that as content creators, we really do have to take care of our health. We have to take care of ourselves. All too often, I'll see on Twitter, these people that say that they do like 48-hour streams, or they don't get up to eat at all, or they don't drink on stream, like water or anything. And I always think in my head, I'm like, this isn't anything to brag about. It is really, really important that while we're doing this and we're working hard, we also have to take care of ourselves, and we have to be mindful to what our bodies are telling us, because in reality, it can be really easy to just kind of push through, and it could be really easy to get sick. Right. And the fact that as a content creator, you're sitting for long periods of time, it can be a bit unhealthy to do that too. So we just have to be very mindful of that, and be mindful about taking breaks, getting up. And if you're feeling tired, if you need to rest or stop a little bit earlier, to make sure that you do that so you take care of yourself.
Yeah, it's easy when you do it full time, and especially in 2020 when the world is the way it is. It's easy to get in a loop where you just
Mhm.
wake up and you work on content and you game and you go to bed and you don't
Yep.
You don't kind of break away and do anything else, especially in 2020 the way it's been. So yeah, and I know we were talking for a couple minutes off camera, and you'd mentioned how setting an alarm and stuff.
Yep.
It's also easy to like mess up your sleep schedule when you kind of set your own schedule. It's important to still like keep discipline and not let yourself just kind of do whatever.
Oh, exactly. I know you and I were just talking about that before we even started talking. It's so easy for us to have all of the days blend in. And I know that's why you and I were joking. We're like, hey, it's Friday. Well, you know what? It feels like the same day as every other day, Pinky, right? It's the same thing because we do this every single day. So for me, I have certain alarms set Monday through Friday for times I have to get up. And I also have certain alarms as my cutoff for my absolute end time to stop stream, so that I don't overdo it. So I have to make sure like I have those certain alarms for myself. And then I have different alarms set for Saturday and a different alarm set for Sunday, just to kind of try to keep some kind of routine and keep some kind of system. And also to make sure, like you said, that you're getting enough sleep and you're doing all the other things that you need to be doing. That's important.
Yeah, so you set an alarm 7 days a week, huh?
I do. I set alarms 7 days a week.
I do Monday through Friday, Saturday tentatively, and Sunday I let myself sleep in. Like
Yeah, that's really good to do that too.
I don't set an alarm on Sunday, but my natural sleep clock, if I don't set an alarm or anything, I'll be sleeping until 11 a.m. I'll be up till 4. I'll sleep and I'll sleep till 11. And then so I set an alarm for like, I don't know, somewhere between 8:30 and 9, and then I try to go live by like 10 just to
Yeah,
keep some
I hear you.
routine instead of sleep until noon and
A lot of mine, like my Sunday alarm, for example, is just to prevent me from going that long. So like if it goes off, I'm like, uh-oh, I better have been up already by now. That's kind of like what my stuff is. Not necessarily that I can stay doing that, but it's kind of like if I'm already up doing breakfast and all kinds of things and my alarm goes off, I'm like, yes, I'm already ahead for the day. That's great. I didn't stay in bed till 2 p.m. This is fantastic.
is there anything that you wanted to touch on in terms of raid, like something you're upset about or you really like, or something going on in the community right now? Anything that's kind of sticking out to you right now in terms of the raid community?
Well, I think overall, everyone's really, really excited about Doom Tower. And I
Mhm.
think that's going to be a lot of fun. I do know it's end game content, so I'm expecting it's going to probably be pretty difficult for me too. I've been playing for maybe like 193 days or something now. And I mean, I'm not done with Faction Wars. I still have a long way to go. So I'm going to have fun with it. I'm really, really excited about the new champs we're getting. I'm excited about the fragment champs. I do find a little bit concerning though about how we keep getting so many champs though, that trying to balance all those champs against each other seems like it's going to be a monumental task. And I know we're going to be getting even more than that. And now we have this fusion coming, which is going to be more new champs on top of that as well. So it feels like it's a lot. It really feels like it's a lot. And when I have new players come in and they feeling like they're getting overwhelmed, I understand it. And that's what I tell them is, not too long ago, I was new myself and I was really overwhelmed. And luckily the community was like, okay, Leila, this is what you're going to do. Like, it's fine. Let me get, there's so much stuff in here. Just focus here, do this, do that, and you're going to get it. And now I get it. But all this new stuff that we're getting does also seem how it can be overwhelming on top of everything else that we have too. So I guess we're just gonna kind of have to see how it goes, considering Doom Tower comes out on Monday. And I think as we're all expecting, it's gonna be a lot of maintenance on Monday probably as well.
Yeah, and it keeps becoming more stuff added on to like your daily routine.
Yep.
They add in the tag team arena, and they add in the Doom Tower. You keep snowballing more and more events more often, so it becomes more and more of a like more hours per day that you need to dedicate to like have manage an end game account basically and manage it efficiently.
Yeah, it does. And again, it can feel overwhelming where I'm already thinking, like myself doing this full time. I'm like, if I'm kind of feeling this way, I'm like, I can imagine people that are just trying to play that don't get to play full time about how it seems like it could be too much. And I guess I can see both sides of it, right? Is that having as much content as they're giving us, I can see they're trying to give content for people that are end game and probably have been bored with the game. They're trying to keep people playing, which is a good thing. But then, like I said, it can be a little bit too much for people that don't understand or maybe don't get to play as many hours as we do. And then new people, it can just be really out there for them. So like I said, it's just very interesting to see. I guess we're just gonna have to see what happens with it.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that. And one question I had about it, like that I like to ask people, kind of in hindsight, is starting Twitch. What you said, like 3.5 years ago, right?
Yeah, I started in, I want to say like December of 2017. That's when I first started.
Is there anything you regret? Anything you would do differently?
Never. You know, I get those kind of questions all the time about asking if I have regrets or things I would do differently. And I honestly, I wouldn't, because everything that I've done has always brought me up to where I am now. And I am, like I said, I'm happy, I'm blessed, I'm thankful for where I am. And all of it has been a learning experience, and all of it has been a process. You know, and that's a huge thing with Twitch as well too, is that there's a lot of streamers, there's a lot of people playing, there's a lot of people trying to make it, there's a lot of people trying to get partner. And it really is that it's a learning experience, and you have to go at it yourself. Everybody has a different journey. And, you know, granted, some people get there faster. Some people, you know, might have got there in like 2-3 months. Me, it took, you know, 2.5-3 years. Some people don't get there, but everybody has a different experience. And it's about trying to take those experiences and trying to improve yourself, trying to improve your content, and being flexible. You know, that if you are trying something and it's not working, you have to have the courage to try something else and try something new, and then ask for help if you need it. So I feel that all of the steps and everything I have done that's brought me up to here, I honestly wouldn't change it, because I've learned so much. And now when I have people ask me for advice, they're just starting out, or if they need help, I have my experiences that I can share with them. So hopefully they can learn from that and they can take from it, and hopefully they can find some success, because that's all I ever hope for people, is that, you know, they get what they're trying to go after, or if they don't, at least it leads them into a direction of where they're trying to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see. My first YouTube video was 2008, and I did content pretty consistently for 12 years.
Nice.
And yeah, it was never even an option to go full time until like 11 years in.
That
So
makes a lot of sense. It's not as easy as people think it is. It's really
yeah, there's a lot you need to learn. There's a lot of experience you need to get. But there are people. I always compare it to like being a musician or being an actor. Like there's some people that just blow up, and
Yep.
there's some people that even though they're really good, it's just hard. It just takes a long time for them to get there. Even though like there's lots of extremely talented musicians that never get famous.
Yep.
And
It's like
there's
TV shows, things
yeah.
like that. Like there's TV shows, music. Like you can see a TV show and be like, this show's fantastic. Why did it get canceled season 1? And then there's another show that goes on for 10 seasons, and you could be like, oh, well, that's interesting. So I agree with that. It's different for everybody. It's different for everybody.
Yeah. I guess in closing here, let us know kind of what's coming down the road with you. Do you see Raid being a long-term thing, or are you kind of planning on branching out soon? And what's kind of going on with your channel kind of coming up?
I'm still seeing Raid as being a long-term thing. I'm liking what we see. And like I said, with the Doom Towering having more new content, I'm excited to see where we go through. I always put cosplays into my stream as well, so I'm always still planning on that. And I'm always looking forward to some of the newer champs coming out that I can kind of play around with. Like I just saw the visual for Pixneal today, and she looks really cool. So maybe we'll do Pixneal in this month, even though everyone keeps asking me to be Santa Claus. I don't know. For some reason, the community keeps wanting me to put on a beard and be Santa. I don't know what's up with that, but they want that. So I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens in December.
Which ones have you done for cosplay?
Oh, so far, let's see. We've done Zavia. I have done Madame Saris. I've also done Zargala. So those are probably like some of the bigger ones I've done. But other than that, you know, like we've played around on stream with a black-haired wig and elf ears to kind of look like Elaine and things like that. But those are probably like the 3 main ones that we've done so far. And then I'll have to just decide on what we do in December for Christmas time.
Cool. Okay. Well, thanks for taking the time to hang out with me. It was a lot of fun to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for inviting me.
You bet. Thanks. We'll see ya.
Bye. Have a good one.
All right, that's going to do it for this one. Again, huge shout out to Leila for joining me. It was a lot of fun sitting down and having a conversation with her and getting to learn a little bit about her and her content and her journey. So as always, I will link to her stuff down below in a pinned comment, so it's nice and easy to find if you want to check out her stuff. And that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.